in the frame? Just my hand. What's the end? Okay. Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be teaching you how to make an origami lotus flower. So for this fold, you're going to need one sheet of square origami paper, ideally something relatively thin because you're going to be doing some folds that have a lot of layers. And if you have some thicker paper, it'll be a bit more difficult. You really only need single-sided paper. That's what this one's made out of. But if you want, there's an optional step at the end where if you do have double-sided paper, you'll see just a little bit of the other color. So I'm just gonna use double-sided because that's what I found. But you can just use single-sided. Okay, first thing you're gonna do is you're going to fold in a rectangle. Oh, and I will also say, if you would like to pause the video now and go find something to use as a creaser, because there's going to be some very thick folds and it's going to be very difficult to crease. So if you'd like to get a creaser, you probably should do so. Okay, so you folded it into quarters and you're gonna take the corners, fold all 4 corners into the center, like this. And remember to be as accurate as possible and with nice sharp creases. So you can either use your fingernail, or if you grabbed a creaser, it can be silverware, a credit card. If you have an actual creaser, that's fantastic. But if not, really anything with a hard surface works. All right, so now you're going to fold all of these corners into the center. This is when the paper starts to get a little bit thicker. All right, so we've got all of our corners folded in. So as you can see, we folded in the first corners like this, and then those corners, and now we're gonna take these corners for the 3rd time, fold them into the center. And this is where you might wanna start using a creaser because it gets a little tricky to crease some of these folds. Okay. So, because the paper is so thick, it doesn't really want to cooperate all the time, so you kind of have to force it a little bit. All right, so we have now folded the corners into the center 3 times, and so now we're gonna flip it over and do it one more time. So this one, for sure, use the creaser. I really should have grabbed one before I started this video, but that's okay. And it's important to be accurate, but if you're not perfect, that's okay. Mine's a little bit off, and it'll still look great. Okay, so really smush that down so you get as sharp of a crease as you possibly can, given how thick the paper is. Okay, so now we've taken our 6-inch square and really shrunk it down quite a lot. Because as you can see, these flowers are pretty small. All right, so now what you're gonna do is you're going to take each of these corners, and you're just gonna fold it in about that far. This is pretty subjective because you don't want to do it too far, but you want to do it just enough. So it's going to be about that far. If it's not perfect, it's okay. It'll still work. But you want about that, and really squish that down. just like that. Do all 4 corners. Okay. All right, so these next steps, you're just gonna wanna be really gentle and really careful so you don't tear the paper. As you can see on this one, I accidentally tore one of the petals, which is really sad because I like this one. But be just extra careful so you don't make the same mistake I did. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're going to sort of flip it over just a little bit. You can see how there are these 4 petal looking things here. You're going to take it and you're going to flip it over like that. And you really have to use quite a bit of pressure because it does not want to do it on its own. So just pull it over and then you just sort of shape it a little bit, smooth out the inside, just so your petals are nice and pretty. Maybe I always like to recrease the edge just a bit like that. All right, so there's one. So then just go all the way around. So you lift it up off the back and sort of push down in the center with your thumb and pop it over the edge just like that. And then sort of make the inside of the petal a little bit more neat, just like that. All right, one more time. Just sort of pop it over with your thumb like that. This is definitely the trickiest part because you have to be gentle so you don't tear the paper, but you have to use enough pressure so that it actually pops over onto the other side. All right, and then the last one. There you go. All right. So now we've got our 4 inside petals done, and then you can spend as much time as you want fixing the center and making the petals neat and even. I'm just gonna keep going, but if you want, you can pause the video and sort of play around a little bit with it. And then you can kind of fold these little pieces up in the center just to make it look a little bit neater, just like that. That's a kind of optional step. You don't really have to, but if you want to, you can. All right, then to make our next layer of petals, you're going to look on this side again, and you can see we now have 4 more little flaps. And these you want to be even more careful with because they're less layers, so they're more likely to tear. So same thing, sort of lift it up, push down with your thumb in the middle, and just sort of flip it up, and then kind of give a little tug so it goes all the way over. And then just work your way around. There's a fair bit of just shaping so you can make it kind of the way you want. If you pull a little bit harder, it'll curve in more. So just play around with it and see what you think looks nice. All right, now once you've flipped all the petals up, just like that, then we're pretty much done. You can take and you can curl them down if you'd like. Just, it changes the way it looks a little bit, or you can just leave it like that. And then if you really want to see, if you use double-sided paper and you really want to see the other color, you can take this last layer here and fold it up just like this so that you can get just a little bit of your other color. I'm just gonna do that so you can see, and then I'm gonna put it back because I like it to just be one color. So you can just play around a little bit with it so it's the shape that you want. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe.